It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. And, man, I come back with one of my oldest friends right here. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but Mike Daniels, man. How you doing?
Nick, we can't call it just Friends Friday. It's got to be Best Friends Friday because, man, you've been one of my best buddies for...
It's been a while, hasn't it? You know, I was thinking back after you and I talked about you coming in on this Friday. We knew each other in middle school.
Middle school, yeah, that's going back a long time.
That was at Pitts or at Roncalli? Did you do the Pitts thing?
I did Pitts 1 year, then I did Roncalli, and then on to South. So I did 3 different schools.
So you did like South Park.
Yep. In
Pitts.
6th grade, South Park, 7th grade, Pitts, 8th grade, Roncalli, and 9th grade, South High School.
The only difference I had was I was at Highland Park.
Yeah, I remember
exactly all the same stuff there.
Yep.
But, yeah, crazy time because it went from junior high to middle school. That's why it all changed there.
That's why we had to go through 4 different learning environments in 4 years.
That's why we are like we are now.
No wonder we ended up this way. Man.
But that's been a while.
It's been a long time.
That's been a while.
That's why we got to call this Best Friends Friday.
There you go. Well, I appreciate that. And it's
Happy
always
to do
good. Always good to see you.
Anytime I can spend a time with Nick Donovan, I'm down. I'm in, man. Sign me up.
And radio. I mean, radio doesn't get any better.
My first love, truly.
Yeah.
Radio, man. I started radio back when I was in high school at a small little religious station.
Mm-hmm.
Quick story. I don't know what kind of time constraints we have here, but
you're Mike Daniels. We don't have any time constraints here.
Like that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was working at McDonald's.
I know you were working at McDonald's on Northern.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
And my manager, I was in high school. My manager was working at a radio station. I think the calls were KKAM. Is that
could be?
Yeah, it was out on Highway 50.
Right.
Radio. He goes, stop by sometime and see what the radio station's all about. I go, okay. I was a kid in high school. I go, sure. I got plenty of time.
Kind of fun, yeah.
Walked in there, saw the environment, and I go, this is it. I was like Disneyland for me. I go, this is what I want to do in life, and
So you were like what, 16, 17 at the time?
Probably 16 years old, I'd say. So I started at KFEL, the small religious station out by City Park,
right?
And I was probably a sophomore in high school at that point. I would go on, put the tape. They would have tape religious programs, and every half hour I would say the call letters, and once an hour I would read the weather forecast. So, and I thought, man, this is, as a high school kid, I go, this is it. So then I progressed on to KDZA after that. And,
well, see, now I remember you were on KDZA on Sunday nights. When I first found out that you were on the radio, it was like 10 to 2 or something.
It was the
Sunday nights, and I thought, that's Mike. That's the guy I know, man. I thought that was the coolest thing that you were actually on KDZA too, which was the, Holy Grail.
The big kahuna back then.
Absolutely.
Man. Actually, my shift, I think I was still in high school back then. I did the 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. shift on Sunday morning.
Wow. Maybe I stayed up later than I thought.
I think you were having fun. Knowing you were having some fun.
I was having fun. You were working.
That's right.
But, yeah, wow. And that would have been...
like 75.
Yeah, I was going to say,
something like that. Just to tell everybody how old we are.
And you used to drive a blue Buick Skylark or something, right?
Have it was a Grand Sport.
Grand Sport, yes, the fancy one.
You probably worked on it for me a couple times. That's how you probably remember it.
That has been a couple of years, man.
That was a running monster. It ran through water pumps like that. It would go through water pumps,
really?
So I had to get rid of it. But
it had chrome reverse wheels, and I remember that car vividly because it was a cool-looking car.
It was a classic, even back then. I mean, you got a great memory.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Blue with a white top.
Yep.
And white interior.
How do you remember
I don't
this
know.
stuff?
I can't remember anything else, but I can remember stuff.
That's amazing to me.
It's a Friends Friday. Mike Daniels in here this morning on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My longtime friend, not old friend, my longtime friend, Mike Daniels in here. Of course, you know Mike from every night on KOAA. When did you start at Channel 5?
Oh, geez. I started doing Channel 5, the TV, in 1984.
Really?
Yeah. I started doing weekend weather in 1984, I think like early April of 84.
Wow.
I did that for probably 2.5 years, and then I was promoted to the Monday through Friday shift back in June 1st of 1987.
Wow. But you were doing radio and TV there at one time on KCCY or something, right?
Well, yeah, like I said, radio was my first love.
Right.
I was just like...
Oh, radio's just fun.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't like going to work. Not that, doing weather at Channel 5 is work. I have fun doing that too. But to me, when I first got into radio, I go, this is it. This is what I want to do. And then I found out the wages they were paying. I'm going,
TV's so much better.
Man, I gotta shift gears here, man. I got to get into something that pays me so I can make the mortgage payment.
Well, nothing has changed. Let's put it that way. All right?
You know, you're doing okay.
I've survived. That's all.
You're doing good, and I'm proud of you.
So you start out as the weekend guy. You're doing radio. You were doing like afternoons on KCCY, right?
Yep, I was the 2 to 6 guy on KCCY
in
this very studio.
Right here on this chair that I'm sitting right now.
That's why. Yeah, this brings back so many memories because I was working at KCCY and we were on Elizabeth in the old studio. They built this building, and Michael John was the owner. And he goes, "Okay, what do you want? We're designing the studio."
This is a great story here because I tell people this story all the time, but Mike Daniels is going to tell you the story.
Yeah, well, he goes, "What do you want in the studio?" I go, "You know what we need is a bathroom right in the studio,
right
so I don't have to walk halfway across the building to take care of business." Because years when I was at KDZA,
on top of the United Bank building.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I locked myself out, and I was the only guy there. And so, that's really the day the music died.
Because it got a picture up there in the United Bank building. The bathrooms were for everybody, so they were out by the elevators. Well, KDZA studios were just one of the big offices up there. So when that door closed, you're stuck out there in the lobby.
I was done, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to physically trying to break the door down to get in because there was no one else in there, and I'm going, man, this is trouble. The record had ended probably about 3, 4, 5 minutes already.
And you could hear it when you were in the bathroom. They had KDZA playing in the bathroom, so you could hear it run out, I'm sure.
And as a high school kid, that's a scary thought, man.
Sure.
You go, there's my career just like that, man. I mean, I'm locked out of the studio and the record's over. There's no one to I guess I physically broke the door down to get back in, but that's the consensus of this.
Then it's like, hey, let's just put a bathroom in the studio.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I go, one thing we need is a bathroom right there in the studio so the DJs don't have to, walk halfway across the building to take care of it.
Wait to get in because somebody else is in the bathroom. And you know what? To this day, in this huge corporation of iHeart, this studio is known as the Taj Mahal because of that bathroom. And this is a true story because people in Denver and people in Springs, when they meet me, they'll say, "You're the guy that has the studio with the bathroom."
Yep. That's, it's a must-have in my book.
Yeah, absolutely.
I should at least have my name printed on top of the bathroom door.
Yeah. Maybe we can think of something
That's
here.
A good idea.
Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. Mike Daniels in here from KOAA channels 5 and 30, and you're a busy guy now. You don't just go up here on Big Hill and do the weather anymore, right?
No, it's the Big Drive. I call it the Big Drive.
The Big Drive?
Yeah, our studios are in Rockrimmon, north end of the Springs, so that's where I. That's
and
where
nice
I work.
digs. Do you have nice digs?
It's beautiful. It's we've got our own building up there. It's it's high rent, no doubt about it.
Oh well. Really?
It's a 3-story building with its own elevator.
And you can see the sign. I've never been in there, but I can see the sign from the highway and whatnot. But, the building up here on Big Hill that's still here, a lot of people don't know this. As a matter of fact, the majority of people don't know this, but I was the third-string weather guy at one time, and I was horrible. Now, that's what people say, I could do that. They see you on TV. I could do that. Well, it's more difficult than people think it is. But
what I want to know is there a tape, a VHS tape
I hope
floating
not.
around of Nick Donovan doing the weather on Channel 5? Because I'll pay big money for that. If anybody out there that's listening has a tape of that, I will shell out some cash.
I will pay you more not to if you do. Georgianne Limberopoulos told me she was going to dig through the archives to try to find that, and I'm glad she didn't.
Oh, man.
That was...
How long ago was that?
Oh, I'm trying to think what I was driving at the time. But
that's the way I equate things,
it'd have to be early 90s probably, but I remember doing that, and the TV part didn't intimidate me, but all the other stuff did, and I was horrible at it because you got to be so credible. You got to look good, you got to sound good, and you got to be credible all at the same time. In radio, you don't have to do any of those.
That's the great thing about radio. It's you. This is your deal. And TV, you got to rely on the camera guy, the producer, the director, the floor crew. And
it's like a big team that's all meshing together. But
there's a lot of people don't see that behind the scenes stuff. But it's in radio, you turn on the microphone and your creativity takes over. It's just you and the audience and the microphone.
Here's a good story about Mike. I remember calling you like on Christmas Day. Hey man, how do I do this? And you were gracious to me.
Is that how it evolved?
Yeah. I'm with Channel 5, and I'm like, Mike, I don't know how to do this. How do I do this?
I thought I trained you better than that, Nick.
I have a short memory, I guess. But I'll tell you, I'd leave there, and I would be just physically drained because of the stress of all that.
Yeah, I mean,
and you just pull it off like it's nothing anymore.
Well, yeah,
after
doing it for 38 years, I would hope I could do that, but it's fun to me still. When I'm finally up there, the prepping for the show is already done, and it's just me standing in front of the green screen and doing the weather. I still get a kick out of that.
And obviously you're very used to using that green screen. Everything I did, I was thinking backwards. And I remember one time I went to go from the set or whatever you call it, where you're all sitting out to the
set,
out to the green screen, and I forgot the clicker.
Oh, no.
So the guy upstairs kept the camera off me, luckily, and I go back to get the clicker. I get the clicker. I turn around, and I yanked the lapel mic off.
Oh, no. I kind of remember that.
I could hear it go. And I picked it up, put it back on, continued with the weather, and I remember getting done and going to commercials, and whoever the girl was told me, I don't know how in the world you did that. I've been doing this for all these years. I couldn't have done that. And I'm like, that was my career of radio.
And that is how Nick's
that was
weather career ended, ladies and gentlemen.
My short-lived career on TV. But so I salute you for how easy you make that and how you got it all down.
Well, it's fun to me. I still like doing what I do, and that's the key in life. You got to find a gig that you really like, and it's not work.
It's not work,
and that's me. That's why I survived for as long as I have.
Well, there you go, and that's how I've been fortunate to stay in here and play rock and roll.
You're still kicking butt.
Somehow we're still here. We're both still here.
Still employed.
There you go. Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Mike Daniels. You know him from KOAA channels 5 and 30. 38 years, you said? Did I hear that?
38. Of course, I started when I was 12.
When you're 12, yes.
So do the math.
Yeah,
okay?
Yeah. But, I got to say, you do look young still, man.
I don't know what it is. It's that working out, I guess, because I still work out 5 days a week. That's all I can, because I eat trash.
I was going to say, you must eat healthy. And
no.
No?
I'm on a first-name basis at the McDonald's and the Hardee's and places like that, man. I eat fast food probably 6-7 days a week because I'm a single guy. I don't like to cook. I get home late. I don't want to cook, so I just, I eat trash, but hopefully I'm compensating by doing the five workouts
evidently,
a week.
it seems to be working good.
Man, thank you.
Yeah, because I don't work out, and you see what I look like. Here's your future if you don't.
You're okay, man. You're doing all right.
Gosh. So if I went to McDonald's with Mike Daniels, what would since you're a former worker there from many years ago, if I went to McDonald's with Mike Daniels, what would Mike Daniels order?
I'm a quarter cheese guy.
Oh, man, so am I.
I got to have a quarter cheese.
That must be the secret right there.
That's it right there. Grease and more grease, and then you top it off with a large order of fries. I'm good to go.
Diet Coke or regular Coke? What do you do?
I do half and half.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I've heard that Diet Coke's not good for you. Of course, I've been drinking it for about 60 years now.
Me too.
So I'm going to be okay, but...
really? And I would have never thought that, looking at you, and I'm not kissing up to you, because we're
don't
beyond that for years,
Big time.
I wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah, I do that. I'm a McDonald's guy 2-3 days a week. You can't forget the McNuggets either.
I know. But anyway, I thought for sure that Mike Daniels was a healthy eater, and we're watching everything and all.
King of the junk. That's what I am known as at Channel 5. King of the junk. Where are you going tonight? McDonald's? Where are you going? Chick-fil-A? By the way, I should be getting comps. I should be getting freebies for as much.
Talking about it right here now.
Promo here on the Nick Donovan Show.
Yeah. It's Mike Daniels, so if I ever see you, I need to buy you a double cheese and a large fry and a half and half or whatever.
That is doable.
There you go. Mike Daniels in here. Now you see you threw me all off.
I'm sorry. Let me say, Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday.
On KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. I wanted to say French fry. Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My longtime friend Mike Daniels in here from KOAA Channel 5. And, one of the things that I always salute you for was you introduced me to Lee Douglas. And what a good guy.
I don't remember that. How did that evolve?
We were bowling. You guys were bowling, and I would come watch you. You guys were all on the same bowling team, and I would come watch you because we'd all go out afterwards to have a couple beers here and there and some things like that. But you introduced me to Lee Douglas. We were good friends for years.
I didn't know it evolved like that. I only remember back when you were on the bowling team.
Uh-huh.
My dad, my brothers,
right.
you, We had a bunch of like Lee was he was the leadoff bowler. I remember that.
Yeah,
it's amazing the stuff that flashes back here.
He'd bowl like Fred Flintstone. He'd drop the ball, and I would say that if he was standing here. That's not. I'm not dogging him by any means.
Not at all.
Yeah, you introduced us, and
I didn't realize that.
I gave him a ride home. We were somewhere one time. I gave him a ride home, and I said, "Man, I said, I really envy you guys on the radio, man. That would be so much fun." And he says, "You got to come by and check it out sometime," just like what you're saying. And the rest was history.
I didn't know your career evolved like that.
Yeah,
that's
he
crazy.
Introduced me to Rip Avina. And, one thing led to another, and they needed a button pusher.
Lee was just such a good dude, man. I mean, I still miss him to this day.
Yeah.
I can still hear him doing his oldie show on KDZA with Christine and
the Tiny Bopper.
Yeah.
And,
good times, man. We've lived a good long life and had a lot of good times.
Well, there were a lot of Vegas trips with Lee Douglas and things like that involved that were FCC guidelines.
Yeah, that I can't talk about on the radio here, man.
You were sworn to secrecy, as so was I. But, yeah, mentioning your brothers and your dad and that, man, we used to have so much fun bowling.
It was a good time. And
nobody cared if you won or not. We had so much fun bowling.
No, we'd roll 90s, but at the Coors Tavern for a slopper and a beer afterwards. And, it was the greatest thing you could ever ask for.
And then your dad, I always remember your dad would get up. I mean, we'd stay out late, and your dad would get up and drive the bus for Pueblo Transit, and obviously did a great job and worked there till he retired.
He loved it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to get up like at 4 a.m. to get down and drive the city bus, and but he loved bowling. He loved hanging out with the guys.
Yeah, we used to have so much fun.
Well, he'd look forward to that like crazy, man. It was a great time.
Absolutely. Those are great memories. You bet. I mean, a lot of fun there. Ross Beatty Advertising. I don't know why I remember that. That was the sponsor. That was before I was bowling.
Wow. I would never remember that.
I don't know why that just floated into my head.
I think one of the radio stations sponsored us for a period of time as well.
I think KDZA did for a while till they found out what kind of frivolity went on there.
They wanted a cut of that, man.
Yeah, and then Lee did his show from the bowling alley and some different things. It was just crazy.
Wow.
Crazy times, but all good stuff here. Mike Daniels in on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5. And, Friends Friday, my friend Mike Daniels from KOAA channels 5 and 30 here. I guess, is that still the correct terminology?
No 30.
No 30. I didn't think that was right after I said that.
30's been gone for a few years now. It's just KOAA News 5.
When stuff gets stuck in my head, obviously it gets stuck in there. But so people think you only work, like 10 minutes a day or something like that. What's Mike Daniels' schedule to?
Well, I do the evening shift, so I'll get up probably around 9:30, 10 in the morning.
Okay.
Do my workout, religious to my workout.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
You still ride a bike a lot?
I ride a stationary bike a couple days a week, and when it's warm, which is not going to be for the next several months, I'll
chance of showers too. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah.
Hey, you can still do the weather, man. You can still do. Where's the camera guy?
Yeah.
Do a workout, do some show prep, drive to the station, start more show prep there. Because it takes a couple hours almost.
So you drive to Pueblo or you drive to Springs first?
Springs.
You drive straight to Springs. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I drive up there and get my show ready. It takes probably about an hour and a half to get all the graphics ready because, they told me that, these computers, it's going to help you. It's going to make life easier. That ain't the case.
No, and that's the part that freaked me out, what I was mentioning earlier. It's like, man, this is hard stuff. So anyway, you get all that dialed in.
Get all that dialed in and then put on the hairspray and the makeup and put the suit on and the tie. That's the thing I love about you radio guys, man.
See, I knew you were coming in. I actually wore pants today.
Well, thank you for that. I'd be in therapy for months.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Yeah. But, so you got to get dressed up, and then so you take lunch like in between the newscasts?
Yeah, well, we have a 4 o'clock, a 5 o'clock, a 6 to 7, and then after that I roll out and patronize the fast food joints, and then get ready for the 10.
Roll back at 9 o'clock or whatever.
Well, no, that's I'll got an hour. My boss could be listening. I got an hour for lunch, man. That's it. That's all I do.
I believe you.
Hour for lunch, and I'm back and getting ready to prep for the 10 o'clock show, creating new graphics or updating.
Sure. And you don't want it to be exactly the same, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, and the immediacy of weather, around here it changes quick, so
right.
Just dialing in and finding out what's going to happen and getting ready to go on the 10 o'clock show and
right.
work that magic.
When you get done with the magic, Then what? What time is it then? Say regular
10:35. I'm rolling, man. I'm rolling.
10:35, huh?
I'm rolling south. Rolling through that beautiful construction zone between South Academy and Fountain.
So it's a little different than when you just went to Big Hill here and you.
Man, I was home in 6 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I was home when it was on Big Hill. I was home in 6 minutes. Now it's like I'm not even on the south end of the Springs in 6 minutes. I'm downtown because Rock Rimmond's far north end of the city.
Right.
So.
Our iHeart studios are on Rock Rimmond, actually, too.
Tech Center?
I don't know what it's called, but right when you get off the highway, right next to the highway like that.
Yeah, that's our neighborhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
The good times roll up there, man. Got to get you up there.
No, I don't think so. Everything's fine right here in Pueblo. But yeah, so you go to work at 1 o'clock?
Yeah, I'm up there rolling, getting things ready, and then.
So it's not just a 10-minute gig. You work 8 hours a day.
More so now that I drive.
Yeah, that you have to drive. Sure.
It's a full day, man. It's a full day, but I love it.
But the weather must go on.
The weather has to go on no matter what. Absolutely.
Mike Daniels in here from KOAA Channel 5 on a Friends Friday. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Mike Daniels from Channel 5. Everybody knows Mike Daniels.
I get stopped on the street occasionally and say, hey, ain't you that
Aren't
guy
you
that
Mike
does
Daniels?
the weather on Channel 5?
Yeah. It was kind of funny when I used to hang out with Lee Douglas. They thought he was J. Ralph Carter.
I still get called that.
Do you really?
I'm not making this up for radio. It was probably 2 months ago. They go, I don't know where I was, somewhere in Pueblo. They go, hey, J. Ralph, how's it going?
You're kidding me.
I looked over my shoulder and thought that, it's the reincarnation.
Thought he came back, yeah. Came back to haunt or something here. Really?
Yeah, that's a true story.
It must be the hair or something.
It's got to be. I don't know. I don't sound like him.
No, not at all. Or they recognize you and you.
But to remember J. Ralph doing the weather on Channel 5, which, like I said, I took over in 87, so he quit in 87.
But he was kind of did weekends here and there and a few things here and there.
Yeah,
but
he helped fill in for us.
Yeah, he wasn't a regular on there by any means.
So you never know what's going to happen when you're out in public. That's why I have security with me at all times.
I know you do, and you you're kind of like Elvis. You got an entourage usually, and
well, I'll tell you what, Nick, I'll be
the Pueblo Mafia instead of the Memphis Mafia.
That's right. And they work just as good too. Let me tell you,
probably better. Actually,
better.
So do you still have the big Cadillac and all that stuff? You used to have a big vintage Cadillac. Do you still have that?
I used to have 2 vintage Cadillacs, and one of them. You helped me with. There was a project. The bumper was falling off, and I can remember taking it out to your place, and you helped me drive it up against a telephone pole to get the bumper back in place.
Pushed it back and got the bolt in or something.
So
I don't remember.
Your talents amaze me. Not only able to do radio all these years and do it well, but be able to help a guy with a vintage Cadillac get it back in place. But
that's a long time ago.
Yeah, I've still got one of the Cadillacs.
Oh, you don't have both?
Sedan DeVille, still in great shape. It's got 86,000 miles on it. It's midnight blue. I took it out of the garage last weekend, and man, it's like it still purrs like you just pulled it off the showroom floor.
Well, the old one that you had the bumper problem on. I remember you used to, if you looked closely when you guys were up here on Big Hill, you would see that sitting outside, like if it was snowing out there and the camera did a shot from outside.
Oh, really?
You'd see your Cadillac out there.
Yeah. All I know is because I've been a big fan of Caddies all my life. I had one before that. And it was beat up. It was torn up. It was just the paint had faded.
Now, what year was that one?
It was a 68 as well.
Oh, it was a 68.
Big fan of the 68s, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And my general, I'll never forget this, my general manager at the time, John O'Gilbert.
I remember John.
He said, get that thing out of my parking lot. It's probably dripping, It was using more oil than, my girlfriend on vacation back at the time.
Yeah.
So it was, he said, get that thing out of my parking lot. And, I just moved it to the back of the building, and he never
Parked
knew.
on the side over there, yeah.
Never knew.
I remember the code up there for some reason.
To get in the building?
Yeah, I think.
I don't remember it myself.
I don't know.
Now we've got the little keys that you have to flash to get in. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but so you weren't allowed to park the Cadillac out in front of the station anymore.
Not after that. He was asking everybody, did somebody leave their junk car in the parking lot? They go, no, that's Mike's car. He called me into his office. Man, he ripped it, man. I go, John, that's a beautiful car.
But, you know, the good thing in those days, John O'Gilbert was in the office down the hall. Your boss was right there. You could handle it and be done with it.
What a dude he was, too, man.
He was a character,
he was
wasn't
a fun guy. Quick story about him. I don't know if people listening remember who he was. He was the GM of Channel 5.
And he would do an
years.
editorial and things like that.
That was, I mean, he stirred up some nests there.
Yeah.
But John O'Gilbert was the guy that actually gave Howard Cosell his break to get into TV.
Really?
Yeah. When Howard Cosell wrote a book years ago, people remember Howard Cosell.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And he mentioned John O'Gilbert in his book.
Really?
That he gave him his start to get into TV because Cosell was a lawyer.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, he's a smart lawyer. And I go, what do you want to get into TV for? But he was a legend.
Sure.
Kind of like Nick Donovan.
Oh, yeah. Well, John O'Gilbert gave me my start at TV,
he did.
too. Yeah.
And he's also the guy that ended it.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, Mike Daniels from KOAA Channel 5. And, you know, you're like I am. You're a staple at the Colorado State Fair. You've been doing your live shots there from way back, right?
Well, I can remember. I don't remember exactly what year it was, probably the early 90s. We actually did our broadcast from the State Fair live TV show from the roof of the Ag Palace.
Yeah.
Never understood that, but
nobody could see you or touch you, but you were up there. I remember that, yeah.
That was wild, but yeah, I've been
because they built like a fence up there so that somebody wouldn't fall off or whatever. Yeah. That
was fun. But, I've been out there since I started doing in 87, since I started doing the main.
Every year at the State Fair.
Almost, COVID, we didn't do it during COVID.
Right.
But, almost every year. So I know some of the carnies on a first-name basis.
Well, I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do. And you and I had a showdown in the slopper eating contest a few years back, and neither one of us won, but we ate some sloppers.
That was good.
Yeah.
And then I won the following year.
Oh, you did?
When I wasn't faced with the intense competition from Nick Donovan, I actually, one of my biggest claims to fame, I actually won the slopper eating contest.
And
did
they give you like a...
the little slopper trophy.
Yeah.
Which it's near and dear to my
heart.
Still
coveted, yes.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
All I got was a cheap old apron.
Yeah, you didn't win, though. So you got to win to get the slopper trophy.
Yeah.
That's big time, man. When you're from Pueblo, winning the slopper contest, that's your claim to fame.
I know, and the year I was there, I didn't win either. I came in like second.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of big eaters.
Eaters, but none of us were anywhere in comparison to the professional eaters.
Oh, my God. That's just crazy to watch. I stuck around after.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the nastiness that prevails.
And the guy was eating like a slopper and drinking a Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
To wash it down, and it was just like boom, 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 boom.
He's got to get a sponsorship with Pepto-Bismol or something.
Something,
for that,
yeah. And he wasn't a big guy or anything. At least the year I was there, he wasn't a big guy.
The small guys win. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it's like Joey Chestnut or whatever. But
when you're throwing down 25 sloppers and Mountain Dew, that's not going to end well.
No, it can't.
That's not going to be a pretty picture at the end of the day.
So Mike Daniels was the media winner of the slopper.
Not this past year, but the year previous
before.
To that. So I'm proud of that.
Well, I'm proud of you for being proud of it.
Next time they have a kielbasa eating contest, you and I, because we were reared on that
stuff.
We
were raised, born and raised on kielbasa. And they slide down really good, too.
They're really greasy.
Do you ever go to Eilers for the slopper race or the kielbasa races or whatever
I didn't know they had that.
Yeah.
I've got to hang out with you more often. That's all I can tell you. That sounds like a home run
or
hit
maybe not. I don't know.
Kielbasa
kielbasa races or whatever.
Gotta have that.
Mike Daniels from KOAA Channel 5 in here on a Friends Friday. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. Mike Daniels in here today, and boy, I appreciate you taking the time to come in. I know you are a busy guy, and I got you up early because you don't get up at this time of the day.
I haven't been up this early since I had a paper route.
And that would have been what, like 71?
Yeah, 73 or something.
Maybe,
something like that. A long time ago.
Now, as we mentioned at the start of the show, we go way back. We went to middle school, junior high, and all that stuff together. But people may not know this. You played football at South.
I did. Play some football at South, and I got to.
But you were a lot bigger then.
I was a big boy.
Yeah,
when I was a
big.
sophomore, man, I was 250 pounds.
Yeah, I didn't know you were that big, but you were a big guy.
Well, you had to back then because they had some big boys on that on the varsity team, and if you wanted to, if you want to, because I was too slow to be in the skill positions.
So they needed a big guy up front.
Put him up there, man. Throw him in there. I was 250 pounds, and I'll never forget, man. We had just started the season, and I came home one day after practice. My forearms were nothing but black and blue, solid black and blue. And I told my dad, okay, this is why I told you I need to get some shiver pads here, man.
So he popped for
some shiver pads, man. Made my life a lot easier, but it was fun playing football.
Now, you were a kicker for a while too, weren't you?
I did some kicking.
I thought so.
Man, the thing is, you remember
why? I don't know why. I didn't do any research on you. I don't want people to think this is weird. It's just my memory was good back in those days. It's not worth a darn now, but in those days, it was pretty good.
Yeah, those were good times, man.
And who was it? Bill Sabo, the coach at that time.
Bill Sabo was the coach at South at that time,
and Golob was probably playing on.
My buddy Jim Golob, man, superstar of Rent-A-Car.
Trying to think who else would have been on that team and.
Howard Ballage.
Howard Ballage and I are friends on Facebook. I see him every once in a while still.
Cool. But, you brought up Bill Sabo, and it reminds me I got injured once. I got a dislocated shoulder, and they didn't have the medical staff that they have now.
Yeah,
my shoulder's dislocated. It's sticking out there, and I'm a sophomore in high school, maybe a junior. I can't remember what year that, because I had 2 dislocated shoulders.
Okay,
pick a year,
pick a year, either year, any year.
My shoulder's sticking out of its socket. Can't move it, and the coach Bill Sabo goes, take your pads off. I'll pop it back with my foot. And get you back in there. I'm going, well, you know what? I'm a kid that's still in high school, but I'm going to pass on that one.
So you didn't let him do that. I could hear him saying that too. Yeah, he was my algebra teacher.
Mine too.
Oh, I hated algebra. Yeah. Not because of him, but I just didn't like algebra.
Yeah, that was tough. It's still baffling, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't know why that just floated in either. Mike Daniels played football at South.
We are stirring up some memories here.
Absolutely.
We're stimulating brain cells that we thought were gone years ago.
And they probably should have stayed there too. Yeah, but Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5 on a Friends Friday. My friend in today, longtime friend, Mike Daniels from KOAA Channel 5. And, more importantly, just a longtime friend. Our friend, we've been friends for a long time. I've been friends with your brothers for a long time and things like that.
You're like a member of my family, man.
Yeah, except you can't deduct me on the income tax. That's the only.
I know your mom. You know my mom.
Yeah.
It's like
good friends with your dad back in the day. We all had a good time. But, one thing I noticed a lot, and seeing you on TV is every once in a while you take a vacation and people are like, Mike Daniels takes a vacation? Because it's kind of like me. They're just used to you being a part of their day every day. But so if Mike Daniels takes a vacation, I know you like to go where it's warm, right?
You got me, man.
Yeah?
I love the beach. I love one of my favorite places to go is Puerto Vallarta.
Oh, really?
Oh, man, I just,
on the west side of Mexico.
Yep. On the
Pacific side.
Yeah. I've been to Cancun. I've been all over Mexico.
Right. Oh, I know.
It's a cheap flight. It's an easy flight. It's a short flight. I mean, Hawaii. I understand the lure of Hawaii,
but it's like 6 or 7 hours.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's Puerto Vallarta is the same latitude as Hawaii.
Oh.
So I said, okay, I can go to Hawaii and have a 6.5 hour flight, or I can go to Puerto Vallarta for a 2.5 hour flight.
Spend more time on the beach.
Yeah, sign me up for that. But there's a nice little fishing village just south of Puerto Vallarta called Mismaloya.
Oh.
Sleepy little fishing village, man. Things are still like it was back in the 60s or 70s. What it seems like to me, it's just that's my paradise right there. You got the mountains that meet the ocean. It's just the Puerto Vallarta Chamber of Commerce should be sending me some tickets right now. For
mentioning this
for the plug. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Cancun. Doesn't have the allure to me that
really.
Cancun, you've got that crystal clear water.
Right, you look down and see your feet in the water there. Yeah, but
in Vallarta, it's just beautiful, just the scenery with the mountains meeting the ocean there, and that's my place.
Is it a big party place?
Nah, you can get into some trouble
if you want.
Get into some trouble there if you want.
Kind of like Pueblo, if you want it, you can find it. Yeah,
you know the spots. I know that. I know.
So then, speaking of fishing, you like to do fishing around Colorado too, though. It's not like you just got to go fishing in Mexico.
Well, when it's hot here, I go up to the mountains to cool down. When it's cold here, I go to the beach to try and warm up.
There you go.
But there's
if anybody knows when it's going to be hot or when it's going to be cold, it would be you.
I got that covered.
I would think, yeah.
I'm your answer man right here. But there's the spot I like to go to up between Gunnison and Saguache. Up there,
the secret fishing place that we don't want to divulge, right?
I can't say that, man. I cannot tell where that, because I've been going there since I was a little kid. My dad started taking my brothers and I up there back when we were
you have to hike in there, if I remember right.
Yeah, this is not a place where you drive up in your.
You don't drive the caddy there and get out and start fishing.
No, man. You get close to where the water is, and then you got to hike in. But it's all wild trout. That's what I love. No stalkers. I don't fish for stalkers. I'm not a stalker guy. I want the wild trout.
Is there a difference in flavor?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, where I go, it's a high mountain creek. It's all brookies, brook trout and brown trout, occasional cutthroat, occasional rainbow, but mainly browns and brooks. And man, you pull those things out of the water, cook them up the same night, you are eating good.
Oh, man. I don't even like fish, but now I'm getting hungry.
If I cook a fish for you, you're going to like it.
I'm going to like it?
This is good stuff.
I may hold you to that.
I like that.
I may hold you to that. So fishermen, I would have not thought that. But
I've got pictures. My dad took me up to Lake Louise when I was in a stroller. My mom has pictures of me in a stroller holding a fishing pole, 1 year old, up at Lake Louise.
See, that's the difference with us. I was holding a crescent wrench. And the rest is history, right?
The rest is history. Yeah.
Mike Daniels in here on a Friends Friday on KPHT 95.5, Pueblo's greatest hits. It's Pueblo's greatest hits, KPHT 95.5. Well, one more time on a Friends Friday, Mike Daniels in here today. Man, I appreciate you taking the time. I know that you're a busy guy, and I know you're a guy that likes a routine. You kind of got your own thing, so thank you so much for coming in, and that's what this is all about,
Happy to do it. Like I said, just for this day, we should call it Best Friends Friday, because folks that don't know you personally need to know that you're not only great on the radio, but you're one of the greatest dudes that they'll ever meet. And I'm not, I know that probably makes you feel uncomfortable.
Smoke.
But one of the true best human beings you're going to meet is Nick Donovan. That's why I'd give up any part of my day to come in and do this with you.
Now I'm going to have to pay you for that, just like Puerto Vallarta or whatever.
Checks in the mail,
Yeah,
right?
checks in the mail, yeah. But no, it's fun, and it's been fun, all these years. We've had a lot of fun, I mean, it's thinking back about some limo rides and different things. Some of the stuff that we can't necessarily chat about on the radio, maybe.
Yeah, we used to rent a limo every night the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
The Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
We'd,
because we were practicing safe, not driving while you go out and have some beverages.
That's the lesson. If you have a beverage, an adult beverage,
have
you
a
don't
designated driver.
And we said, hey, let's get a limo, man.
And we'd have the limo take us all around town,
pick you up at your house, at Lee's house, my house, and then
your brothers and all that, and then they would drop us off.
Have some fun. Those limo rides were legendary, man. That brings up some good memories.
Back to the cavalcade and some of those things, man.
Wow.
Cavalcade. Yeah, that's been a couple of years.
I'd be a rich man if that place never existed. I spent a lot of money in that place.
Yeah, as a lot of us did there. But yeah, those limo rides were great. They were great. I'd pay for them for like 2 or 3 days afterwards, and I don't mean the money.
Yep, yeah, I know what you're saying there.
Yeah. Well, hey, so what's the forecast for this weekend, you think?
Forecast for this weekend is sunny and mild with a good chance of listening to the Nick Donovan show. 100% chance of me listening to the Nick Donovan show.
Oh, you silver tongue, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you silver tongue. So Mike Daniels' future, man, you've just been doing it. You're such a natural, and it's always good seeing you on Channel 5, and I'll see you Monday night, I guess.
Well, Nick, thanks a lot for having me.
I guess I'll see you tonight, actually.
Tonight I'll be there. You bet.
Yeah. All right. Friday fun.
Thanks for having me on, man. It's been a good time.
Friends Friday, Mike Daniels. I certainly appreciate our friendship, too.
Happy to do it, buddy.